Okay, it's not like I cry at every movie I go to, but I am a little bit of a softie, and if you touch on something that's important to me, that's valuable to me, you might get me. That happened to me while watching The Vow. Yes, The Vow. And I cried. Yeah, it meant something to me. I'll tell you a little bit about it. First, The Vow is a true story, or based on a true story, about a couple who recently married, get in an accident, and the wife loses her memory. And loses her memory for about 5 years, I think. Well, within that 5 years is the entire knowledge of her relationship with her husband. They had known each other less than those 5 years. So all she remembers is before him. And it's the story of how that affects him, how that affects her, how that affects her family, and how they try to work through it and get past it and move on from it. And it's a very interesting story. And sometimes when you're telling a true story, all you have to do is service the story. You don't have to throw many bells and whistles in. You don't have to be Citizen Kane in the best movie ever made. You just have to tell the story well. And I think The Vow does tell the story well. It certainly isn't a bells and whistle kind of movie. In fact, if you look at the periphery stuff of the movie The Vow, it's not that great. The acting is decent, but not amazing. There are a couple, I think, good scenes that highlight performances. But it's not great. The dialogue isn't spectacular, but it is kind of fun. There's some moments in there. I think this movie, as a movie, is slightly above mediocre. But what gets it for me, and the reason I'm really kind of glad that I watched it, is its message about marriage. Marriage is something that means a lot to me. I've been married 16 years, and I love it. I love my wife. I love that vow that we made, for better or for worse. I love the for better, and the for worse is what makes marriage stronger. And that's what this movie is about. It's about the for worse and how you get through that. And does that vow mean something to you? And there is a crucial scene towards the end of this movie where the daughter confronts her mom, and I'm not going to give anything away, but she confronts her, and the speech her mom gives, the emotions that she pours out about what marriage means to her and a decision that she made in her marriage is some of the most powerful moments to me, personally, that I've seen on film in a long time, and that's where I was sobbing like an idiot in the theater. The Vow is not a great movie, but it is a powerful message that resonated deeply with me. And it's one that you watch and hopefully has an impact on you, even if the acting isn't necessarily the best or the periphery isn't the best. If there's one thing like to pull out negative about this movie, it's probably Channing Tatum. I'm not sure he's a great actor. My understanding is he's really great to look at, and that's certainly on display in this movie. A lot of that is on display in this movie, but his acting is a little bit dry for me. That's really, though, the only like below mediocre part of this movie. Everything else is just kind of hovering at or just above mediocre, except for the message, which I felt was phenomenal.